The brake pads on a Tesla last seemingly forever. I am blown away, completely shocked at how new these brake pads look. I'm gonna give you a close-up. I'm rotating my tires here today, and I'm gonna teach you kind of how to do that as well, in case you wanna do it on your own. My car is a 2019 Model 3. I've had this thing for over 6 years. It has 96,561 miles on it, and these brake pads look brand new. I have 9 millimeters of padding left. You typically replace brake pads when they get down to 3 millimeters, and on a normal gas engine car, the brake pads last between 25,000 to 50,000 miles. So this is actually quite incredible what I'm seeing here. It's not only 3 times more distance than what a normal car would have, but it's also 3 times the travel distance. So the padding 9 millimeters, and I'm at almost 100,000 miles. That is insane. So my guess is that I can actually use these same brake pads for 200,000 miles. I very rarely hit the brake. And for those of you who aren't familiar with electric cars, there is what's called regenerative energy. When you let up on the accelerator pedal, you can't call it a gas pedal, the car slows down. What's happening is the permanent reluctance magnetic motor, it's a servo motor essentially, when that motor slows down, it actually generates energy back into the car, and that motor itself, the windings in the motor, create this friction. So the motor itself is experiencing friction, and you don't need to then put on the brake. And it takes some getting used to if you've never driven an electric car, but it is a completely different experience, and you will actually come to love it, never having to step on the brake. It saves a lot of maintenance costs. I haven't changed my brakes even once. Anyway, let me show you what I got going here. To rotate your tires, you are going to need 2 jacks. Now, if you have 2 cars, usually a car comes with a jack, if it's not a Tesla, let's say. Teslas unfortunately don't come with a jack because they don't come with a spare tire. But a lot of other gas engine cars, they come with a spare tire, and therefore they come with a jack. So you can just borrow a jack, or you can buy 2 jacks. I have this jack over here, and this I have one of the pucks. And you can get these online to put on the jack. There's a little hole that's up on this side underneath here. Let's see if I can get underneath to show you guys. There you can see the puck, and it's inside of a hole. Now on this other side, because this jack is not a Tesla jack, or it's not like a jack that I purchased, I had to kind of improvise. So you have to make sure it's on the metal railing, and I just used some paper bags. I had a piece of wood that probably would have worked as well, but the point is you have to get both sides up so you can remove both wheels. Before you lift your car up on the jack, make sure you gently loosen. You're going to want some tool like this. It's a 13/16 inch socket. But then this you can get at like a hardware store. You just want a lot of torque to be able to remove these nuts. And those nuts are easy to remove when your car is on the ground, because that's going to give you a lot of torque. It's going to be basically locked with friction on the ground and allow you to remove them a lot easier. So once you remove the wheels, you are going to want to clean them. And I went ahead and cleaned on the inside. You'll notice on the inside it actually gets pretty dirty inside of here. If you've never cleaned it, it gets pretty dirty. So it's a good idea to clean them while they're off. And also take the opportunity to clean your aero rims or whatever rims you have. It's a nice idea to clean those. So I have a bunch of rags that I keep that are extremely dirty, and that's for my tires. I have dedicated rags just for those. And then another thing I like to have is a little cushion. So I will put my knees on here, and it just makes it a lot more comfortable, a lot easier while you're working on your car. It's another good thing to just check inside of here, look for any rust or any corrosion, just check out that area. In my case, it's not bad at all. If you have a wire brush, it might not be a bad idea to kind of brush things up, to kind of clean things out. And then you could also apply some rust corrosion, You can get this rust cure formula, and you spray this in. It's basically rust proofing your car, but you really kind of want to clean it first. And I'm not prepared because can't find my wire brush for some reason. So I'm gonna have to buy another one, I think. And then let's take a look at the brakes. It's quite incredible. I have a flashlight over here. Yeah, right in there. That is 9 millimeters of brake pad. That is really, really incredible. And look how clean it is. The rotors look really clean. And let's come in and show you the front. Look at that. That is just crazy, isn't it? That is absolutely crazy. You can see it really nicely in the front, just how clean it looks and how large that padding is. I was blown away. And up here, there is I'm gonna do a separate video on this at some point whenever I get the time. If you ever have a problem with your upper control arms, this is what's called a front upper control arm right here. If you have like squeaking noises, make sure you get part revision J. That fixes it. There was an issue with water getting inside of the ball joint up there and creating issues. So the part with the revision J at the end is the one that fixed it. And that I've had these replaced twice, believe it or not. I also had to have, there's a compliance link. I think this is a compliance link. And then there's a lateral arm down here. The only one that I didn't have replaced is this one. And while I was experimenting with it, I was injecting some grease in a lot of these little, this area here. And that's actually not a good thing to do. You want to avoid that because then you can get additional moisture in there. But I was so annoyed with the squeaking noise and I was trying to fix it myself. It ended up being the bushing inside of here. So a little bit of bonus for this video, just kind of talking about some potential problem areas with your suspension. So they replaced this compliance arm, and I think this is like a lateral link here, and then you have the front upper control arm. This spring, I don't think that ever goes bad. I thought maybe that might have been part of the issue, but it's not. It's going to be one of those three things. What you can do with your tires is to check them. What you can do is get a penny out, and there's a little guide you can search online. It'll tell you how good your tires are. So this used to be my back tire. You can see like it's basically going right to his eyes. It's not quite going. So this one, there's not a ton of tread left. So this was in the back. It's going, to his eyes, or actually a little bit above his eyes, Abraham Lincoln's eyes on the penny. And then we're going to come back here, and I haven't rotated my tires for a while, but you can see the difference back here. So this was the tire that was in the front, and when I put the penny in here, you can see how much deeper it goes down in. Hopefully you can see here. So it's going down to like the top of his nose. So this has more tread because it goes deeper down, right? So this is a better tire right now, and that's because it was in the front. You tend to go through your tires in the back a lot faster. And the next thing is, well, you're just going to rotate them. So the one in the back has to go to the front, the one in the front goes to the back. And you don't need to rebalance your tires. Your tires are already balanced. You don't need to do any alignment, nothing like that. It's very simple to do and very fast, generally speaking. So that's my story here with the brake pads and rotating tires. Hope you guys have a great day. See you in the next one.